Hello, my friends. I am so happy to see you again. Welcome to our Sunday school lesson this week. We are going to hear a story today about how Jesus chose seven important people to help him. Jesus has a pretty big job. His job was very important, but he couldn't do it all on his own. He needed some special helpers. Now, I'm not going to tell you yet what these 7 special helpers helped Jesus with. We're going to figure that out in a little bit. But I'm thinking the item in our Wonder Box, this week might give us a little hint about something that these 7 people helped do. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. It's obviously a little bit heavy and kind of loud. It's clunking around in there. Let's see what it is. Oh, interesting. It's a can of food. This happens to be a can of peaches, okay? But there are a lot of different foods that come in cans. So let's dig a little deeper and figure out how this can of food has to do with Jesus' 7 special helpers. Now, in case you didn't know, Jesus already had a set of special helpers. There were actually 12 of them, and they were called disciples. Can you say disciples? Yes, the job of the disciples was to go out and tell people about Jesus. They were basically just teachers of Jesus. So they would go around spreading the good news about Jesus and what he had done. But then all of these other problems started coming up. People were hungry, people were poor, people needed help. So even though I'm sure they wanted to learn about Jesus, they also needed a lot more things to help them, just besides learning about Jesus. So those 12 disciples also helped pick these next 7 helpers. So let's go ahead and listen to our Bible story. I'm going to show you the pictures, and we are going to hear about what these new 7 helpers that came after the 12 helpers were supposed to do. Look at our picture here. Okay, you see all these men, they're sitting on the floor. It looks like they're listening to the people who are standing up. So our Bible story today is called Choosing the 7. Let's see what happens. The Christian community was growing so fast, and the disciples couldn't keep up. The disciples held a meeting. "It is our job to tell people about Jesus," said the disciples. "We can't feed the widows and the poor and still have time to teach about Jesus. We need help. Select 7 believers who are wise and good. Those 7 people will feed the widows and help the poor." The other believers were happy the disciples chose to find some help. "We would like to choose these 7 believers: Stephen, Philip, Prochorus, Nicanor, Timon, Parmenas, and Nicholas," said the community. The disciples said a prayer for the 7 chosen and sent them to serve others. So this is really cool because what this is showing us is that the followers of Jesus are continually growing. More and more people are coming to learn about Jesus, to help other people, to spread the good news. You had Jesus, you had his 12 disciples who are teaching about Jesus, and now you have these 7 special men who are going to go out and help the community. They're going to help people who are in need. They're going to help people who don't have enough money, people who don't have enough food. So that's why in our Wonder Box today we had this can of peaches. That is such an easy thing that you can do to show Jesus' love and show love to your community. You can take cans of food just like this to local shelters and different places where hungry people can go to eat, and you can help them that way. It's that simple. And what's cool about when food is in a can like this, it lasts a really long time. So even if you drop a can of food off tomorrow to the homeless shelter, And, maybe it doesn't get eaten for a little while. That's okay. It's still going to be good and healthy for a long time for the people who need it. Now, I know that we already heard our Bible story, and that's usually the only story we hear in Sunday school each week, but I want to share a special book with you that you may actually have heard before, because it goes along with what we're learning about today, how we can give to others, and that's a way that we can show God's love and spread God's word by giving to others and helping others whenever we can. So this book that I'm going to read is called The Rainbow Fish. I bet you might have heard this before. If you haven't, that's okay too. But if you have, I want you to listen closely to this story and think about how the fish in our book is giving to others, even when he feels like he might not have that much to give. So let's hear The Rainbow Fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. Look how pretty, shimmer. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after Rainbow Fish. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are?" cried the Rainbow Fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with Rainbow Fish. They turned away when he swam by. So Rainbow Fish actually, he does have things that other people want, but he's not willing to give them away. He's wanting to keep them all for himself. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish, "but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." There's the wise octopus. See here? The Rainbow Fish found the cave. It was very dark inside and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, two eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I've been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. "The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy." "I can't," the Rainbow Fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. "Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never. How could I ever be happy without them?" Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. "Rainbow Fish, please don't be angry. I just wanted one little scale." The Rainbow Fish wavered. Only one very small, shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the Rainbow Fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much. The little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing, so it didn't take long before Rainbow Fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt at home among the other fish. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. "Come on, rainbow fish," they called. "Come and play with us." "Here I come," said the rainbow fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. The end. And you see, here he is at the end with only one glittery scale left. Now, I want to go back and look at this one important picture. Okay, look what's happening in this picture. We have our rainbow fish, and he still has lots of shiny scales. You can see him shining in my light here. He takes the smallest one and decides, okay, well, it's just one, and it's very small, so if I give it to the little blue fish, maybe it won't be such a big deal. Maybe I won't miss it very much. That's where it all starts. All you have to do is decide that you're going to give one thing, whether that's some change from your piggy bank, whether it's you making a card for somebody who is sad, donating food to a food bank. All you have to do is just start somewhere. Just like the rainbow fish decided, well, you know, I do have some things I could give away. Even though they're not very big, it's a nice thing to do. And then after Rainbow Fish gave that one scale away, then what did he do? He realized it wasn't so bad, and he started giving away more. And then all of these fish were blessed with a shiny scale. So even if you just start by helping one person, maybe eventually you can help other people too. And in return, it makes you feel so, so good because you know that you made someone's day better. Now, I'm really excited about the activity that I want you to do this week. I want you to do something with your hands. Can you hold your hands up like this? And I want you to curve your fingers around like this. It's like I'm making a hook out of my fingers. You see that? So you hold them up like this, then curve them around. I'm going to put your fingers together. What does that look like to you? What shape is that? It looks like a heart to me. Yeah, you put it on your chest right here, just like your heart. So your activity today looks just like that. You can hold your hands up and make a heart. And what you're going to do for your activity, inside this heart that's made by the hands, I want you to draw some pictures of things that you can do to show God's love and to help people who are in need. So maybe you'll draw a picture of yourself taking some cans of food to a place that needs it. Maybe you'll draw a picture of yourself donating some money from your piggy bank to somebody who is in need. Anything that you can do to be loving and helpful, you can draw inside those hands. Because even though you might be young and little, you can still be helpful, just like the 7 people that were chosen to go and show God's love and help the community. Our faith word for the next few lessons is love. Love is a closeness and connection that we feel with God and others. See what you can do to show love to somebody this week, whether that's giving your time, your attention, or really just doing any act of kindness. Now, before I let you go and before you go and watch this week's music lesson with Reverend Donathan, let's say a word of prayer together. Go ahead and put your hands together, bow your head. Dear God, thank you for teaching me to help others and to have a loving heart. Big amen. Amen. Thanks, friends. I'll see you next time.